And now back to Bobby Likis Car Clinic and your host, Bobby Likis.
Margaret, welcome to Bobby Likis Car Clinic. Glad to have you join us this morning.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Bobby.
Hi.
Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you for calling.
I have a question.
Sure.
I've asked everybody, and nobody seems to be able to give me the proper answer. When I fill my gas tank, you know, I have a gauge in my car that says how many miles I can get on that amount of gas.
Yes.
When I fill my gas tank, and let's say it's 3-something a gallon, my gas, it will say that I have 400 miles I can go on that gas tank. Now, recently, of course, the gas has dropped, and I paid the other day $2.39 for a gallon of gas.
Right.
And when I filled it, again, the 20 gallons, it says I have 325 miles to use on that gas. I can't figure out why, if it's 20 gallons, why it isn't always the same amount of miles.
Well, did you reset that the car's trip set?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
No.
Well,
I just
there you go.
Yes, and that's it.
All right. Here's the bottom line. When if you drove around town, you would get, let's just say you get 15 miles per gallon around town.
Mm-hmm.
20 gallons, that's 300 miles.
Okay.
So you filled up, and you didn't reset the trip set, and the car uses the history of city miles, which is 15 miles per gallon, or 300 miles.
Okay.
But let's just say that that particular fill-up, you were driving from New York to down to Jersey or wherever you go, and you're on the highway. Now the car relearns over a period of miles. It probably takes at least 150 to 200 miles on that tank of fuel, and instead of 15 miles per gallon, you're getting 20 miles per gallon. So you're getting an extra 100 miles of gas. So the next time you fill up, it sees, well, I'm getting 20 miles per gallon. Here's what you must do to be accurate. There's a reset button on the trip set, on your odometer. And not the odometer that's a cumulative mileage over the years of the car, but on a trip. And there's usually trip A and trip B. I only use one in my car. But if you were, let's say you were going on a trip across country and you wanted to, an average of all the gas mileage, you would go to trip A and reset it when you filled up at the first stop before you left home, and you would also go to the trip B and reset that. Now you've got trip A and trip B on 0.
Right.
Then you would go back to trip A and never go back to trip B until you went all the way across country and came back. Trip A would be individual gas tanks that you would reset along the way, and then trip B would be the collective MPG of the whole trip. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying?
I do. I do.
So, and here's one thing that's really cool. One of the NASCAR drivers actually took a Ford Focus when Ford first came out with their EV car or the hybrid, and it was advertised at 41 miles per gallon. This was 4 or 5 years ago. He drove that car. Now, I won't say that he kept up with traffic, and I won't say that you would want to be around that car, because the way he drove is the way that I could drive your car, and I could get 30% more MPG, because all cars have a fuel cut off. And let's say that you're riding a bicycle and you're having to go up the hill and you've got first, second, third, fourth, 10th gears, whatever. Depending on how steep that hill is what gear you have that bike in. You with me there?
Right.
Because it depends on how powerful your legs are. Now, let's just say that you're turning around and going down the hill. Well, you don't have to coast at all. So when a car is going down the hill and you back off the throttle, the rear wheels are driving the motor, and the fuel injection smart systems on cars shuts off all the fuel. And if you'll go through the menu of your car's reporter on MPG, you can look at the instant miles per gallon versus the average miles per gallon. And the instant miles per gallon can go from 5 miles per gallon to 50, up to 99 miles per gallon, up to zero use, or a million miles per gallon. Because if you lived on the moon and you could coast all the way here, you wouldn't need any gas, and the car would see that. And that was a system, that being the fuel cut system, that was designed many years ago, not for street cars. It was designed so that the Jaguars could outrun the Porsches in races in Sebring and areas like that, because the Porsches were always faster. But you see, that was a road race, and as those cars run 220 miles an hour down the straightaway, and then they have to back off the throttle to get into a 30-mile-per-hour hairpin turn, when they back off the throttle, the Bosch came out and made a program that cut the fuel off, because when you when you let off the throttle, you don't need fuel going in the motor. So that technology allowed the Jaguar race cars to get a half a more mile per lap, or half more mile per gallon than the Porsches. So the Porsche would run fast and outrun them, but they'd have to stop and get gas, and here comes the Jag would catch up. And that technology transferred over, as a lot of racing technologies do, that technology transferred over to cars, because when you let off the throttle going 60 miles per hour, and there's some other parameters that I won't get into, but when you let off the gas, your engine doesn't need fuel going in the cylinders. The old carbureted cars still fed fuel in the engine, which is hydrocarbon. Unburned means emissions. And in all fuel-injected cars, your Grand Marquis, even I see Chuck from Illinois, his F-150, you let off the throttle, gas shuts off, engine coast, it's a free ride, and MPG goes through the roof. So if you knew, and to finalize this, if you're a half a block from a traffic light, and you're familiar there in New York with that particular traffic light, you know you're not going to make the green light, back off the throttle all the way and coast up to that stop, because during that coast, the MPG goes to 99 miles per gallon, because you're running with no fuel going in the engine whatsoever, with the throttle all the way at rest. So that's the reason you should reset your MPG within every tank. You got it?
Right, I've got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thanks for calling.
I've been trying to find this out for 2 years.
Well,
finally somebody has the answer.
Yeah, oh, by the way, I want you to know, and I'd love for you to enter our sweepstakes. Go to carclinicsweepstakes.com, because I'm going to be giving away a $500 gas card, speaking of gas. And our sponsors and partners will also be giving away prizes as well. Royal Purple, a lambskin leather jacket. You'll love that in New York, and it is beautiful. I have one. And also the Renewable Fuels Association is going to be giving away a $250 Visa card that you can spend at will. So you can enter the Car Clinic Sweepstakes by going to, and Margaret, do this, carclinicsweepstakes.com.